Welcome to this energy healing transmission where the focus is going to be anchoring unity consciousness. It's a really important topic for everyone. Everyone. So maybe you don't consider yourself to be someone that dabbles in the areas of energy healing, of channeling, of, connecting really spiritually on a consistent, regular basis. Maybe you don't consider that true for yourself. That's okay. Unity consciousness is for you too. So, for those of you that in the session would want me to have a look at your Akashic records and be able to connect the dots on the information that's coming through, you can just say yes. You can also be here as an observer. And no matter what you're saying, what I'm going to bring through is only going to be for the highest and best good of all. That's all that's going to be allowed to be here, is what's for the highest and best good of all. And anything that's fluff or unnecessary or from the ego, we're going to leave that to the side today. We're going to let that take a nap off to the side of the session today as we really center and get into our unified field consciousness, our mind-heart coherence consciousness, as we start to embody the unified field. So when we choose to anchor unity consciousness and become the unified field, we're not muffled, we're not held back by separation consciousness. We're not an opportunity for someone in self-judgment or self-hatred. We won't be someone that they can see. The unified field is important right now on planet Earth. I have my whole team in spirit that's with me in my consciousness, and they're asking me to share this, that what they're showing me is that there's going to be a lot of pieces of candy. They're showing me pieces of candy with the word separation on them, like little pieces of candy with separation. They're showing me a lot of things written on these candies. This is the Akashic Records being fun. So they're showing me candies with separation, fear, division, confusion, disempowerment, distortion. So there's going to be a lot of candies that are dropped into our reality. I am a loving being and I'm a channeler, but I can tell you that the attempts that are being made to separate us, they're going to get a little bit stronger before they die down, if that makes sense to you. So what my guides are wanting us to do is really get in touch with this unified field. Our guides have been training us on how to handle fear. Our guides have been training us on how to flag, discern, become aware of when something's trying to take you out of your alignment. So as those experiences may show in our reality, it's up to us to keep the field unified. It's really not up to anyone else. Please stop waiting for someone else to unify the field. My guides are being a little stern right now. They're saying some of you are really, you're waiting. You're waiting. You're waiting for someone outside of you to save you. What if you can save yourself? What if you don't have to wait? You have a great big team and spirit that can help you with this if you don't know how on your own. So if you have this intention, let's say, of unifying your field and finding mind-heart coherence in your everyday experience, and you're thinking, I don't know how to do that, that's okay. You actually don't know you don't have to know how, because you have an oversoul channel that already knows. And within that oversoul channel, there are plenty of guides that are willing and able to specifically assist you in every little facet that you may encounter. They're there. I was asked to bring the gene keys. I recently watched an interview with Richard Rudd and Emilio Ortiz. And then last night I started watching an interview with Blue and Richard Rudd. I think it was on the Gaia Network. I was about to watch that D, so I haven't finished it. We'll probably be watching it at the same time at this rate. But what's really, really prevalent right now, and something that Richard says whenever he shows up anywhere, is that this is a living transmission. And here's the thing, so are you. A lot of you want to conceptualize of the Akashic Records as this really fixed thing. No. The Akashic Records is a living, breathing library of quantum essence. You can get to your own Akashic Records through your DNA. Once you figure that out, once you navigate that path, and you get that solidified, then you can start accessing the Akashic Records outside of your this you. In other words, you can start accessing the Akashic Records of planet Earth. You can access the Akashic Records of a star. You can access the Akashic Records of a galaxy. You can access the Akashic Records of, they're even saying a word. So everything is multidimensional. Everything. But in this transmission, we want you to know that you are. We want you to know that you're not a fixed set being, and that when you do these things for self-knowledge and self-love and self-growth, you're not studying something and then trying to mimic it. What they're showing me now is that this is like the old paradigm. We learned that the only way to learn was you learn this thing outside of you, you copy it. That was the old paradigm way of learning. You learn something outside of you, you copy it. They're saying the new paradigm way of learning is experiential. A lot of you throughout your life, you did learn in an experiential way, and that's why when you were in schools and when you were in systems, you didn't like it, because you didn't understand this energetic of, I'm learning something outside of me and copying it. You never resonated with that. You were more experiential. That's because you are here to bring new earth codes. It's not just because this is your unique way of being. It's because you are here to bring new earth codes. You're here to bring crystalline codes. And a lot of you were early, okay? So a lot of you they're showing me the first, second wave. A lot of you came before 2012, this big wave that happened in 2012, with these star seeds and these light beings coming to the planet. Well, a lot of you are just like these crystal children, just like these indigo children. You were just born a little earlier because you're here to be a way shower. A lot of you are going to be parenting these kids. A lot of you are going to be teaching these kids. A lot of you are going to be the safe haven for these children to show them that their way of learning, which may be more experiential than it is copy the cat and then do it like that, you saw it outside of you. You're going to be the guiding light for these young ones that are going to feel safe to do it. Because some of these young ones, what I'm being shown is that they're going to be brought up in households that are very glued into that old paradigm of copy, or learn it, copy it. Learn it, copy it. It's very stale. It's very, there's no room for progress. There's no room for ascension. There's no room for expansion in that model of learning. So what my guides are just showing me is that a lot of us here, whether you're choosing to be a parent or that's in the realm for you, or you're leading young ones, or you're guiding young ones, maybe aunts, uncles, grandparents, however this is coming through, what I'm being shown is that it's really important that we help these young ones understand that their way of being is accepted, that their way of being is lovable, that just because they don't learn like the rest of the kids learn or the rest of the adults learn, that they're lovable and that they can be that way and that they don't have to fit the mold. So I just want to check in with all of you because that was just channeled through me as the vessel, as the conduit, as the multidimensional tuner today. How is everyone feeling? How is everyone doing with that kind of information? How do you feel about it? What comes up for you when you hear it? Is there resistance? Is there no resistance? Yes, I had to do this with my own kids. I had my awakening post-kids and have been learning this myself. Heidi, yes, I am in that boat as well. Good. So, let's see here. That's what they're saying about the gene keys. So what they're saying right now is that the gene keys is very similar, and they'd like you to get the most out of it that you can, is what they're saying. The Lao Tzu and Kuan Yin are here. So what they're saying is, if you can apply what we just talked about, the old version of learning, okay, the new version of learning. If you can apply that to your interaction with the gene keys, you will be served exponentially. Because when you're reading the gene keys, you're going to be sensing and feeling and receiving activations of your DNA. So it's activations of things that are already within you, possibly just dormant. Okay? So just asleep, this will wake it up. I also have no affiliation with this, so I'd like to make that very clear that I don't work with Richard Rudd. I'm an observer. My guides are correcting me to say that I do have a very strong connection to Lao Tzu and Kuan Yin, which were in large part the originators of the I Ching, that this is based on. So, how do you heal the soul? It's an interesting question because the soul is already healed. And it is a question I've asked of my guides many times in the naming of my business. So it's more so that the soul is being brought into the vessel fully. And when the soul is brought into the vessel fully, that heals the body and the mind. So really what we're doing is integration. We're calling back soul fragments. And that's how we heal the soul. We also heal the soul through healing the nervous system. It's very important. We also heal the soul through finding mind-heart coherence. So in other words, we're not going to heal the soul through the mind. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, but in Hermetics, everything is mind. Well, yes. But right now, the way that you're conceptualizing your mind has mixed in fragments of distortions within your ego field. So your mind can super serve you when it's clear and when it's clean. But we need to be aware of, is this really mind? Okay, this is what they're having us ask. They say, is this really mind? Or is this distorted beliefs within the ego? So it's good for us to tune into that again and again. Because they're saying some of you are going to try to use the mind, but you've learned some things about what the mind is. And so you may not be able to know the difference right now, at least, between your mind and the driver of your ego. So I recently, my guides told me to call this the troll that stands at the helm of the ego. They also call the ego the belief databank. So your ego is just a containment of your beliefs. That's why we have to work with the ego if we want to heal. We can't just say, oh, we're only going to do soul and then we're going to come back into the body and be, not functional here. The ego is a part of it. So your belief data bank is a big part of how you're going to function here as a human. And if you don't clean it out, or at least know what's in it, if you don't know the beliefs that are in it, then you're going to be driven by those beliefs without even knowing it. So, yes. So that's all they wanted to say about the mind. I'm going to do a little aura sweep. So they're saying ego and mindset are different because they're saying mindset and mind frame they're saying an interface to see what's going on in the ego. I hope that makes sense because I'm channeling. It doesn't really make sense to me, but okay, let me say it again. So they're saying mind frame and mindset are pathways to bridge, they're saying, the mind and the ego. So a lot of you are familiar with reprogramming and reframing. So you're sensing, oh, there's this thing going on. Uh-oh, I know for a fact there's a limiting belief in there. What is it? How can I reframe it? And then they're also reminding us when we do find the limiting belief that we're not moving from a negative to a they're saying a lot of you try to move, you find the limiting belief and you try to go from a negative to a positive. They're saying stop that. They're kind of like slapping our hand. They're saying no, go from a negative to a neutral. From the neutral, you'll be able to move into the positive. But they're saying that what you all are missing in your reprogramming, rewiring, reframing is that you're trying to move from, you're trying to move from I am not worthy to I am fully worthy of all of my dreams and everything I could ever imagine, right? So instead of going from I am not worthy to that, we can just go from I am not worthy to I am worthy and then just let that steep. Does this make sense? Or you might be saying something like, I am an awful person. Okay, well, what if you just start to say, I am an okay person? Or you think you're a bad person. What if you're like, I'm an all right person, I'm fine. Okay? So you might not be able to move from thinking you're bad or whatever to you're great. And then 8023, you might be new here. A lot of the people that come here have already been here a lot, and they know that I'm channeling, and they're really respectful in that way. So that's why the comments don't go crazy. But I do offer up spaces, so you'll see me kind of drop back into the body and really ask you all some things, and I'll do that. You'll see me do that. But when I'm really channeling like this, it is nice that no bad at all. I just want to keep us on topic because sometimes what does happen is I'm channeling something that's in one section of the Akashic Records, let's say, and then someone mentions something in the comments that's in a totally another realm of the Akashic Records. And so then I'm can't grab from where I'm at. I hope that makes sense. I'm not a good mom or a bad mom, I'm just a mom. That's a great example. So if you're guilting yourself, if you're shaming yourself, if you're down on yourself about any of your varying roles in life, what if you could just go to that I am that role? Because this is important, because your ego data bank is going to have a whole bunch of rules about what a good mom is. Okay, it's going to have a whole bunch of stuff written in there. You got to be like this, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like that, you got to do here, you got to do here, you can't do that. Okay, so the ego is going to have a whole system and database of what it is to be a good mom, and some of them might not even be true. In fact, for most of you, I'll just reveal to you that a lot of them are not true. Some of these ways that you think you need to be and that you believe yourself to need to be a good mom or a good whatever, they're not even based in reality. They're based in limitation programming. They're based in separation programming. They're based in comparison programming. They're based in the old paradigm of what? Learn it, copy it. So now this new way that you're showing up as a parent, which is probably really different than anyone you've ever seen parent in this way that you're parenting, you don't have a way to barometer if it's an A, B, C, D, or if you're getting an F on the test, okay? Because there isn't that. There isn't a one-size-fits-all definition of what a good anything is. So let's just lovingly embrace unity consciousness in this new paradigm, which is going to accept, which is going to be harmonic, which is going to intuit, okay? It's going to intuit. So this new way is going to be vibrational navigation. Vibrational navigation. We're no longer going based on this ego rule book. We're going on vibrational navigation. Just going to pull a few cards. This is going to be a short session today, a short tune-in. Just kidding. My guides are telling me to pull a couple of these cards. So we got unity, shock, what a shock, what a shock. So it's a number 4 of diamonds. So 4 is representative of fourth dimensional frequencies. We're talking about 4D here, we're talking about 4 here, we're talking about... They're also saying the heart. So they're saying that with the numbers on this deck, we can think in terms of dimensions. We can also think in terms of chakras. So your root chakra is 1, your sacral chakra is 2, your solar plexus is 3, your heart is 4. Okay, they're showing me that some of you get a lot of numerology in your everyday life, like you see 1111 on the clock, or you see whatever on the clock. They're saying, what if you could pivot your understanding of this numerology and higher self-acknowledgement to understand it's also giving you a message about your chakra system. So let's say you're seeing 333 all the time, okay? Some of you are. They're saying that's solar plexus. Like that's your higher self trying to tell you, pay attention to your solar plexus. Okay, that's funny. And then they're saying like 444, like your heart. It's trying to tell you, listen to your heart. Open your heart. So you're seeing 111 or 11 on the clock all the time. Yes, it's good luck. Yes, it's a good sign. Yes, it's an alignment sign, but it's also a sign to say, don't forget about your root chakra. Don't forget about your root chakra. So they're saying every time that you see these things on the clock, what if you immediately go, I'm going to send love to whatever this chakra is. So maybe it's 121 or something. Okay, I'm going to send love to my root. I'm going to send love to my sacral plexus. I'm going to send love to my root. Okay, it's 1313. I'm going to send love to my root. I'm going to send love to my solar plexus. I'm going to send love to my root again. I'm going to send love to my solar plexus again. Okay? So they're saying, like, let these angel numbers be actually beneficial for you. Because they're meant to be. They're not willy-nilly. They're not meaningless. Especially if they're repeating. Unity. So unity is embodying our soul or our higher self or our oversoul fully in the body. I see 1212 a lot. So they're talking to your root, your sacral, your root, your sacral. They're saying, love me. I'm down here. You've been in that heart so much, Don. Get down here. I miss you. Don't forget about me down here. I like to think of the chakras sometimes as like little beings. It's just a little playful. It's been 555, so throat chakra. That's express, express, express. Express, express, express. We're going to tell it to you 3 times so you hear it. 555 would be throat. And then 6, third eye, 7, crown. So if you're seeing the 5s a lot, it's time to start expressing yourself. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. It's time to start expressing yourself. And they're also saying, like, don't let this be polarized in the sense that if you're seeing these numbers all the time, it's not to say, like, oh, you're neglecting that chakra. No. It's just a reminder to give it more love. So it's not what they really want us to be, like, not polarized about it. It's meant to be like a neutral transcription. They're saying transcription from your higher self. These things, they're not meant to be something that we only see as good or bad. Okay, and then we got new, which is a 10 of spades, and spades are representative of the throat chakra expression. So a 10 of spades and new. My guides are showing me that I channeled on something which I kind of barely remember. I kind of barely remember it because I was fully channeling, but they're showing me that they channeled on something. They said 999 at the bottom and 919 at the top. Some of you will remember because you were there. So 999 at the bottom, 919 at the top. So like this month, we'll say September of 2025 is this like very kind of like triple alignment of completion. So it's closing out. We also have the eclipses. So the 1. So they're showing me that October is the 1. October is the 1. And they're showing me October is going to be a lot of new. And they're showing me that a lot of you are really overwhelmed by this month of September because it's so much release and it's so much transmutation and it's so much alchemy, and you have so many of your identities that are shifting entirely, and you have so much stuff in your life that's going in and out, and there's a lot of change in this month of September. But they're saying in October, we're going to be so thankful to past us for doing all of that letting go and release and transmutation and shifting and allowing ourselves to be in this completing the chrysalis, I'll say, the chrysalis phase before we even know that we're about to turn into a butterfly. We're just goo. We're literally just goo. But they're showing me October is going to be a lot of new. Because of little work. So I don't know what you mean by little work. That part I'm not getting any tune in about. But if you are feeling any like anxieties or fears or nerves, that's a sign that your nervous system is really looking okay. So let's just go ahead and do a call in right now. We're going to just open ourselves up. I am open. You can repeat after me if you want. I am open to the opportunities available to me in my highest timeline that I now choose to embody. I am open to the unexpected. I am open to the gifts I haven't even considered. I am open to the connections I didn't even know existed. I am open beyond my highest dream of self. I am open beyond my highest imagined embodiment of self. These limitations I'm sensing are simply helping me to activate the gift beneath the shadow. I honor myself for allowing myself to see what's going on in my belief databank. I honor myself for that. It's a brave adventure that I'm taking to see what beliefs I'm really operating on. Most people go through life, they don't even ever consider it. They don't ever consider it. They never go. So many people walking this planet will never go, what are my core beliefs? What do I really believe about myself in the world? Most people in the world are not doing that sort of thing, but you are. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. So it's not fun to find the limiting beliefs. I won't lie. It's not fun to feel like we're in limitation, or like there's not an opportunity coming for us, or like we're trapped, or like we're stuck. It's not fun to be there. But if we allow ourselves to hear from all the parts of ourselves that are experiencing it, we're going to serve ourselves. Me too. Their affirmations have been fire lately. I think that's Brandy, you're divinely aligned Reiki, right? So you were there. I just listened back to the transmission. I just listened back to the transmission from last Thursday, and I was like shook. I was shook because I was like, all this stuff was sitting in this transmission that literally came through me. What? It was pretty cool. I appreciate being able to bring through these guides because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They really do. So whenever you feel like you don't know what you're doing, know your guides are available to help you. And then ground. So this is going to be our closing message today because this is just a short one. Just popping in. Today I chose to, I was like walking around my yard, like just being guided. I was like walking little circles and little patterns and little like things. I was like, where are my feet going? Oh dear. It's kind of like what happens to me when I'm bringing through light language with my hands. I'm like, whoa, what's that hand doing? Kind of thing. That was happening with my feet and how I was walking the land. And my guides showed me like you're stepping crystalline light into the land, into the grids. So I just kept stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping. And I felt like little parts. This is maybe a guide at grid work. I felt little parts. This is definitely talking about grid work. I felt little parts of the grid that like were really needed it. Like as soon as I stepped there, it was like boom, like an opening. Like there was like stagnancy in that part of the grid. And when I stepped there and brought the crystalline light in, it was like it could swim again. It could flow again, these grids. And then they're also showing me like, remember there's I've never channeled it on it like this, but this is how I see it. So they're showing me there's a stacking grid. So they're showing that they're showing me like there's like a 3D grid that they're calling the 3D grid that's kind of breaking down right now, the shadow. Then on top of the 3D grid, and this is all underneath your feet and in the earth, but on top of the 3D grid is the 5D grid. This is really what we're all anchoring here as we gather. But they're saying even on top of that is the dragon ley lines. And these are they're calling them the most eternal, which is, I don't know how to explain that. What they're saying is the dragon ley lines are living ley lines. This is very weird. I did channel the dragons yesterday, so they're with me again. And so they're saying when we bring in these crystalline codes, they're saying the first grid it's going to touch beneath your feet is those dragon ley lines. Then it's going to touch the 5D, then it's going to touch the 3D, and by the time it touches the 3D grid, they're saying the 3D grid can't really hold it. So that's why that's what they're saying we're seeing in our 3D reality is this breakdown of this old grid structure, this 3D grid structure. But again, what we're moving into, hello, Corey, what we're moving into is, so they're saying like some of us are going to be, imagine with me, go with me, because the guides are channeling. They're saying like we're sitting in this 5D consciousness, right? Here's us. Here's us in this neutral 5D consciousness. We can see below us. We can see down there to that, we'll call it the underworld or the shadow. We can also see above to the glimmering, shimmering dragon ley line above the firmament. Okay, we can see that too. So what they're showing us is that they're saying that like the ego field wants to like be in that swimming lane, the dragon embodiment, but in truth, we're best nurtured and facilitated to express ourselves as souls by sitting in that fifth dimensional neutral consciousness. Because what they're saying is the 3D is not done breaking down, and the 5D isn't fully ready yet. I don't know what they're saying. Hopefully this is making sense to some of you because I'm channeling. But they're saying the 5D isn't fully ready yet to look up and sense that there's so much more. Okay, I'm going to get back into my body for a second. Give me a moment. They're showing me a bunch of symbols and they want me to speak to them. They're saying, they're layering. Okay, they're giving me an image. So those of you that are driving or operating machinery, get off. No more. Come on, I'll put the recording up as something, okay? But don't be here if you're driving or operating machinery right now. Please be sitting or laying down. They're showing me each of your fields. So they're showing me like each of you in a ball. You're in a source ball. So imagine right now you have a ball of glowing source light all around you. Imagine it, feel it. Maybe you just know it's there. Maybe you've always known it's there. Okay, but imagine that. What they're doing is like they're sending in these sacred geometries, and they're sort of gently like, they were doing this with me with the sun codes the other day in a video I posted on Instagram if you're not following me there. Or maybe it was here. I don't know. What is life? What is life? Platforms, social media. Okay. So what they're doing is putting like these sacred geometry symbols. They're like stamping them into your field for you to, what they're saying is retrieve later. Okay. So I'm going to read those symbols now, and we'll see how many of them I know the names of. Okay? The infinity symbol is the first one. They're saying you are infinite. Remember. And they're just putting in this infinity symbol, this sideways 8. They're actually stamping it over all the chakras. They're stamping it over the root. They're stamping it over the sacral. They're stamping it over the solar. They're stamping it over the heart, the throat, the third eye, the ears, the crown. Some of you might feel sensation or energetic shifts. Okay, now they're stamping in a Sri Yantra. If you don't know that, it is up here. They're stamping in a Sri Yantra. They're stamping in the seed of life, the flower of life, the Vesica Piscis. They're showing me 12-strand DNA. Okay, I see what they're showing me. You're all familiar with your carbon-based DNA, this double helix. You're all familiar with it. This carbon-based DNA, this double helix. The physical, the matter version of DNA that we're familiar with. Over that DNA, over, around, penetrating, within, and expanded beyond that DNA, that carbon-based DNA that is your physical self, is crystalline DNA. Crystalline DNA. Some of you are new here, and please hydrate after this transmission. But they're showing us that that the crystalline DNA, that this unity consciousness, this Buddha consciousness, the unified field, are biofields. Thank you. They're showing me right now what we're doing is biofield tuning. I'm thinking of Stefan Burns right now, who I'm a moderator for. Some of you might know him. Biofield tuning. They're saying it's my ego that wants to say this, but I'm not trained in this. I'm just channeling these frequencies. My soul is very anciently aware of these frequencies. So some of you will want to breathe deeply. Some of you will want to tap. They're wanting us to tell our chakras we love them. This is so funny. So they're wanting us to go tune in. So here you are, your focus. Let's say it's like somewhere around here. Okay, now take that focus that you have and send it to your root chakra and just say, I love you. Thanks for holding me here. Thanks for opening. Thanks for clearing. Thank you for rejuvenating. Now we're going to take that focus up. We're going to go up in the elevator to the sacral plexus. I love you, sacral plexus. Thank you. You give me the ability to connect here, and I love you for that. Thank you. They're showing me orange sunsets. I'm also getting the message to share with all of you that the Divine Mother and the Divine Father love you. It's important to tune into both of these frequencies of love. That's what they're saying. Now, I love you, solar plexus, the sun of me, the glow of me, the embodiment of me. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to embody. Thank you for allowing me to utilize my free will. They're reminding us here. They're saying that solar plexus is what allows you to operate with your free will intact. Some of you feel like your free will has been taken away from you, and that is simply tangles that you can easily and lovingly clear within your solar plexus. I'm being asked to share that the angels are with us, and they're supporting this transmission. Now we're going to the heart, and we're just saying, heart, I love you. If you can, say it out loud. I love you, heart. And then maybe hold it. Oh, heart, you quantum, beautiful, expansive portal. I love you. Speak to your heart. Thank it. Whew. I'm just asking the guides to turn the light down a little bit because I feel like I'm gonna maybe just ascend on the spot again. And I really want to be here in this body. I love living this life. Some of you will want to echo that. I love living this life. Oh, they're saying, oh, I remember now. I'm only here in the human form for a little while. I'm going to make it count. I'm going to make it count. Each second. And then they're reminding us that in each moment, we get to be the sovereign being, deciding who we're going to allow in. Deciding where to go, what foods to eat, what places to travel to, what nature spots to venture to, what crystals to collect and utilize and work with. That's up to us. You get that opportunity. And then I'm just asking, why did we stop at the heart? And they're saying, because we started out activating the upper chakras to allow us to go into these deeper realms. Okay, they're having me do one more aura. They're calling it an aura replenishment, which is, they've never said that before. Don't even know what that means. I mean, they kind of know what that means, but you'll notice I get a little weird when I'm landing in the body from those sorts of things because it helps me get back in the body. So just allow your aura, maybe feel your aura glowing a little bit right now. Some of you will want to even go take your hand like over your skin and start. This is what they're saying. We're doing a little energetic practice to get you all in tune with what you can do with your biofields. They're saying like take your hand and they're saying like feel right outside your skin. That's your aura. So feel it. So then you'll be able to kind of feel when you're pulling your hand away. And then some of you that have your clairvoyance activated, you can even do this with like a dark backdrop as you're watching. You'll see like your aura. You'll start to see your aura. You'll see like where the aura that's outside your hand starts to connect with the aura, whatever part of your body you're practicing with. But they want you all to do this because they're saying that a lot of you come here and you witness me and you think that I have these gifts that aren't available to you. And yes, they absolutely are. It's just you've been trained your whole life to think that they're dangerous or that having them will get you in trouble. But they won't. Okay? This is beautiful. Having the ability to navigate energetically, sense your subtle body, sense the subtle bodies of others, have the ability to go in and make these readjustments, realignments, replenishments within your nervous system. Very powerful. And I'm sweating so much right now. So welcome to the first biofield tuning session I will offer. And I'll have to contact Stefan Burns and say, hey, where'd you do your training? So as we're all landing and getting grounded, if you have anything to drink, especially water, drink some now. I'm going to chug this with, you know what? I'm so thankful today. I want to drink in this gratitude and thankfulness for this community here. Look at these souls. Thank you. Thank you. Love, source, healing, unity, consciousness, and then drink. Oh, yeah. We're going to need a bigger boat. Biofield, wow. Unexpected today. Unexpected today, and what else is new? How's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling? I'm feeling a little bit like, hey guys, you could have given me a heads up about this one, but tempering my ego. How's everyone feeling? Good. Wonderful. Bits better. Good. That made me live a bigger boat. You caught that? That's the kind of things I do when I really want to get like angered in the body and like try to find a movie or something that's superhuman. Lighter. Good. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, right, Arcana. Arcana, are you trained in the biofield? I feel like you might be. You did it because I needed it. Okay. Well, I'm happy that we could your mom brought you to me. Cool. Hi, Mom. Heard what you needed to hear. So, yeah, just really know that when you come to these spaces, because I'm kind of transmitting them from the Akashic records, it's going to feel really anchored for you because I'm tuning into you. I'm tuning into your higher self. And sometimes we forget about our higher self. Just researched it, not trained. Okay. Well, maybe Arcana we're both being called in some directions today. Interesting. About a year ago, I stopped doing certifications because I was like, oh no, I'm doing that thing where I just like, I don't believe in myself enough and I'm just getting all this training everywhere. But the biofield tuning does feel pretty interesting and pretty exciting. So what they're saying is that a lot of you resonate with what I just said about the wanting to chase the certifications and learn all the different modalities. And they're saying part of this is the soul. Part of this is the soul wanting to return back to some of these modalities that it already knows. Okay? But part of it is the ego. So just, and they're saying the same thing they've said to me before, which is if you feel a separation again, so if you feel a separation between the ego and the soul, if you tune in subtler, you'll notice that the soul is slower and the ego is faster. So the ego might be like, yeah, do that certification, otherwise you can't even do a TikTok live, you silly. But then the soul's like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember the biofield tuning. Oh, do I? So just be sure to hydrate because this was really powerful and I didn't expect it, but it just came through. I'm feeling like my body is now 5D. So that's fun. And how are your bodies feeling? Are our bodies feeling pretty good? Just checking on the bodies. Because that was a lot of energy. Ground. A lot of tingles. A lot of people say that in my field. It's very common. It's a pretty good sign. Sweating, floaty. Okay, so feet on the earth. Run your hands underwater. They're saying that's very grounding. Also, some of you are ready to start channeling your light language. And that's going to be what makes you feel nice after this. Spoken, sung, written, danced, moved. Let it flow through you because my guys are feeding through a little thing that I'm going to say at the end, but I'm just trying to get it together. They're saying light language is one of the few modalities that we really want you to study on your own. Because you're not going to be studying it at all. You're going to be experiencing it. So going back to the beginning of the transmission, you're not learning light language and copying it. You're not learning light language literally at all. Okay? You're remembering it. You're experiencing it. That's why your mind doesn't know what to do with it. Well, I'm going to have to go dance and groove and do some yoga and breath work because this opened a lot of pathways for me personally, energetically. And I feel very big right now. I feel like big. And then just to comfort some of you with body image issues, this past year I gained like 6 or 7 pounds, and old me would be like, yuck. But new me is like, I feel so much better in this body because actually I'm allowing myself to like live my life and live my life. So I don't know why I'm saying that, but I guess it was for some of you because it wouldn't have come out if it didn't. Yeah, and they're showing me too, like when you're ascending, like that some like mild weight gain or loss is like kind of typical. I don't know what they're saying here. I'm not even going to go into that. But I will show up again the next chance I get. If you love this, you'll love my Soulful Embodiment container and you'll love the transmissions I referenced earlier. You can still get in there. It's $111. We have 2 more lives. The next one is Thursday. I feel happy. So that's good to look at too. Integrity. Okay, let's take one deep breath together. Hold. Hold in that joy, hold in that unity, hold in that love, hold in that harmony, and release. And then they're saying use the breath like this when you're anchoring different frequencies. Okay. Closing this out in love. Namaste.